Scholar Podcast.
Yam Madar. If Yam Madar ends up playing for the Celtics, you can make so many cool like yo mama jokes.
Yam Mama.
Madar. Yam Madar's so fat.
Don't worry. The Celtics have probably 12 second-round picks, so I think they're set for the present and the future. More Yam Madars to come in 2028 when he decides to come overseas.
Did you get draft and stash kind of guy? You know, you want to keep him safe just in case when he's 35 he blossoms.
He's not done growing yet, I've heard.
His plates.
Growth plates.
Yeah, growth plates.
Still open. Yam Madar is going to look like Dragon Bender by 2026.
That's exactly who we want. We want a Dragon Bender
7-foot point guard.
Actually, Tristan Thompson did give him some size.
Yeah. And
he has more rebounds than any in each season than any Celtics player in the last 7 years, right?
In history.
10 maybe.
Combined.
Honestly,
Literally.
I mean, I don't
think we see
understand.
a completely different Celtics team this year with those rebounds.
Yeah.
I do think he changes the game a lot. I don't know who starts with Kemba out.
I really hope it's not Jeff Teague,
Well,
but I think it's going to be.
I think it would be
You don't
more
like Jeff
smart.
Teague?
And then you play Tice and Tristan, and then you have
Ooh.
you have Tatum playing more wing. You think that's too big for today's NBA?
There's just no unless Tice decides to shoot 5 threes a game.
well, did you hear
Yeah.
Ainge and Stevens were talking a lot today, and they were talking about how Teague and Peyton Pritchard are going to be getting a lot
Yeah.
more minutes.
And then they'll probably activate Tremont two-way earlier on just because, they'll need it for now. And when Kemba comes back, you'll hopefully have a better Kemba. But Romeo's out until February.
do you think because Peyton Pritchard he stayed all 4 years in college, right? Or 3 or whatever it is?
Yeah.
So
Definitely not
because
one and
he's
done.
older, do you think Ainge and Stevens will trust him on the court more than Carson or Tremont or something like that?
I don't think anybody should
He's-
trust Carson,
He's
and I wouldn't
older
even
than
consider him
Jason Tatum.
Pritchard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which-
don't even know if it's the age that makes you trust him more. I think they just like his style of basketball better than
Yeah.
Tremont
Yeah.
is he's a shooter that gets you a lot of that forces a lot of turnovers, but realistically he also commits above 5 turnovers a game. Just in that last one of those last few summer league games, he had a ton of steals, he had a ton of assists, but then almost double digit turnovers. I don't think you can trust him as much, even though you kind of want to. You kind of want to root for him and Carson, but I mean, you would need a big step up from both of them.
It's tough not having a summer league to evaluate any of these guys.
Right.
Yeah, to see how much they change over the year. So
Especially with the Celtics, because they have
youth.
6 or 7 guys who you'd want to see kind of how they're developing.
Maybe even more, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could
A lot of people.
just the
Put
bench
Tatum in there.
itself.
Yeah.
Summer league.
We need to see it.
Can he average 50?
He needs to prove himself.
You could have a summer league team with Carson, Romeo, Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard, Robert Williams, Taco. And Tremont.
Well, and then,
And Shemi.
And Neesmith.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shemi, 5th-year rookie out of
He should.
Did you
SMU.
say Rob will, too?
yeah. I would throw in Rob probably.
Gets
Well,
another year.
I think it's Tremont might be a liability, but I feel like after the season he had in the G League, he probably deserves
More recognition.
some.
Yeah.
Especially more than Carson, who literally did nothing.
Yeah.
When
he
Yeah,
wasn't
but
Carson
Carson would've gone
upset
off
when he was
in
in
the
the
G
he
League.
didn't Carson play in the G League?
yeah,
a
and
few
he went
times?
off.
Mhm.
He had a 40 ball, I think. Him and Tremont were going
It might just
back
be.
to
It might
back.
just be a confidence thing.
Yeah.
Smaller courts. I mean, but then you think, oh, here they are in the bubble where there's no one there. Not smaller courts,
Yeah.
but smaller gyms. And you see them in the bubble, and you're like, okay, this is the perfect time for Carson and Romeo to step up, and it didn't really.
It's
help
got to be a
anyone.
confidence thing then at that point. You know that you're playing against worse players, and you know that you're practicing every day with
All-stars.
some of the best players.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you go down to the G League, and you can shoot out of your mind, but you can't just take that leap in.
Which I guess kind of shows, though, that
Yeah.
maybe Tremont might deserve some recognition, but maybe not that much.
Yeah.
If he does that, but then when he comes up, he's just like...
It's going to be an
do
experiment
much.
the first couple weeks, and with the preseason starting in about 10 days now, first practices are this weekend. It'll be interesting to see like the first few things out of camp.
Well, it's interesting because they're talking about Pritchard, that he's going to get a lot of play time potentially, but like we don't even know how he like is with the team yet.
Yep.
And that's, I guess, what you were saying though about like the summer league.
Right, and can he defend at
At
like
a
an NBA
professional
level?
yeah, we don't even know.
I'm pretty sure Tatum had said having Thompson and Teague will be good just to have a little more experienced players on the team. So I'm wondering if like Thompson and those guys fills kind of the role that Al Horford had played, kind of like the vet.
Tristan Thompson will be the only one on this roster to have won a title.
Exactly, championship experience.
Not saying he's like a major contributor to a title team, but
Could be.
he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe also Evan Turner now.
Pritchard gives me a lot of TJ
Develop
McConnell.
player, develop.
Yeah. Peyton Pritchard gives me like TJ McConnell vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could
Like
see it.
A scrappy kind of dude, and
I mean, I'd be happy with that over a lot of what Romeo,
Might as well just
Carson,
get
Tremont
TJ
were
McConnell,
showing,
honestly.
so-
yeah,
Yep.
they really had no heart. Romeo looked always checked out. I think during the bubble, you caught him on the bench a couple times, like eating a burrito or something. It's just like,
Sorry if you're hearing this, Romeo. Slander.
should we play back
I mean,
that
Peyton
video?
had a great season. So last season
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
at Oregon. So
we haven't talked about Naismith yet. We completely brushed over him when we were talking about like potential summer league roster, but he could shoot out of his mind. I mean, what was he like in how many games? 14 games or something. He shot like almost 50%,
Yeah.
4 of 8,
No, I think if he
Yeah.
can fill that
above
role,
50%
Yeah.
from
3.
Yeah, 52%.
I mean, if he can spread the floor, because I feel like I want Jalen to attack the basket as much as possible. Tatum should be like not settling for threes. If he can fill that spot
Yeah.
where they're like driving and dishing to someone that can hit
That's what
open
got
shots
super
outside.
frustrating was Tatum ISO 3 after ISO 3 after, and then I think that sparks the locker room brawl between Brown and Smart, just because Brown's so disappointed and Marcus is like, well, you gotta let him shoot, but at the same time I think everybody was frustrated watching Tatum shoot like 6-7 plus contested shots at the end of the buzzer. It was similar to like the Rockets offense where you have Harden dribble the ball around for 22 seconds of the shot clock and then either huck up an awful shot or give it up to someone else to huck up an awful shot at the end of that. They need to create earlier in the shot clock and try to take advantage of their skill because, I mean, Jaylen Brown and Tatum can get to the rim really easily. Marcus Smart can too. You have a great pick and roll game now with Tristan, but also Tice, who's one of the better pick and roll guys in the league. You need to find a different way to run the offense. It can't just be ISO ball.
and Taco Fall.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is Taco Fall ever going to play meaningful minutes?
No.
I want him on inbounds plays.
Yeah, he was really good against
mean-
the OG inbounds play.
Yeah, he's like 1 minute on the floor is plus minus. He didn't even get
Was he-
register a minute.
He was on the floor.
His
for that?
per 36.
Yeah,
plus
he was the one in
minus
front
or
of the
something
ball, like, and they just
Yeah.
toss it over his head.
Was like
Negative.
negative.
It was -3 for that
120.
series, but he
It was
Oh,
the per
he was
36
on
though.
ball.
Yeah.
He was on ball. I'm talking about on offense. I want him.
at the rim.
At the rim.
Put him in like the second quarter.
We talked.
What
about
happens?
That. We had talked about that last season. Josh and me were like, "Oh, we need to give him meaningful minutes." They put him in against the Spurs.
But
and
as
he
it,
was
but
just, like awful.
But
Yeah.
meaningful is in like 6 meaningful minutes a game.
It was like 4
Yeah,
second
like,
quarter minutes.
maybe even
against the
less than that,
Spurs
honestly.
Back in January,
Yeah.
and you watch him, and the Celtics actually lost by 40 that day, or some shit like that. It was like a blowout, but, by like the shitty Spurs. But you have Taco goes in for meaningful minutes and like gets eaten alive by I don't know, like one of their like white
Aldridge?
power forwards
Oh.
now, like just random guys.
Jakob Podol.
Yeah, it's
Shout
just
out.
I had high hopes
Signed.
for him.
Bro, his
Sticking
per,
around.
his per 36 stats are crazy.
Yeah, because he plays like the last 2 minutes of like a 30-point game, and they like let him dunk
3
on them.
offensive rebounds.
And you're like,
one-
bro,
Wait, His per 36 is 25 and 16.
Yeah, he's like, what's the worst that could happen if you throw him in like the first start of the second quarter?
Yeah, but I always feel like
Put your
should we
hands up,
let-
Taco.
Should Brad put Taco in for 36 minutes
Yeah,
and see if he gets 25?
see if his
14?
knees can handle it.
Similar to the Zion argument, where if you put in Zion for a whole game, is he going to get 60 points a game?
in these situations, though, I always feel
Is
like
Taco the equivalent of Zion Williamson?
I always feel like the coaches just know something that we must not, right? It's no
I
secret
don't
that
know.
Taco
No.
clearly
No,
can't
no.
play.
It definitely makes sense that
Yeah.
they're not playing him. It just sucks that
Yeah.
they won't even like try it out.
No, yeah.
Especially
Well, they
like
try it out in practice every day.
that's
He
true.
probably gets
That's true.
Toasted. He's gonna get burned by Tristan Thompson in practice, probably.
I'm team like don't play Taco. It's like a really funny thing, but like I don't think you can just put him in a basketball game and be like, yeah, well, we're gonna win a championship later this season, but here's Taco for a few minutes in the third quarter of a meaningful game against the Warriors.
I respectfully disagree. I think he
Well-
puts his hands up,
And we also
and you can't shoot over him.
well, you also say they must know something that we don't, and I agree with that. But why would they sign him then? Why would
Dude,
they
they're
bring him
keeping
back?
him around.
Potential.
That's a good
I mean,
point.
like you.
But
have,
does he really have potential?
He could.
How
he
much?
could.
Maybe it's so
How
that
much
other
can he
teams
improve?
don't-
Like.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
Physically, like make himself less
movement-wise, though,
awkward.
too.
Yeah.
Like his agility. Like he won't be able to. Like fix that. I feel like. I mean, you could definitely improve
Maybe they
a little
just-
bit.
maybe
But
was-
we're just
it was
waiting.
wor-
Maybe
it-
we're gonna see a lot of Taco this year.
I think that going back to Kemba being out, especially now with Gordon gone, who was taking probably what I think it was like 10 shots a game.
10, 12.
10 to yeah.
And that's Kemba also. It's gonna
Also 10 to 12.
we're gonna
14.
see Jason Tatum,
Oh my God, yeah.
Jaylen Brown, both of them step up
Higher volume.
higher
scoring,
volume.
yeah.
They should the Celtics need to definitely like expect a lot from them. And Tatum could seriously average like 30 points a game for
Yeah.
the first month of the season. Maybe even after, depending on Kemba's playtime.
Mm-hmm. Marcus Smart's also going to take a lot more shots. I think we can probably agree.
That's
If
true.
he-
But it
He'll
also
make
depends
more.
on if he's
If he improves his shooting like he has over the past few years, listen,
Yeah.
team of shooters.
Is Brad Stevens on the hot seat?
No.
I don't think so, but
They just re-signed him,
yeah.
but I think you re-sign him to give him a little more security, and then hope like he does better. But
I mean, at the same time, though, like it's Eastern Conference Finals after Eastern Conference Final, and like we just can't capitalize. Game sevens, even one year, which we would have ended up losing either way.
Bro, one of those teams was Isaiah Thomas and Avery Bradley. That team was not going to beat the Cavs.
Yeah, I know.
So
and
that's
they weren't
not
gonna,
Brad's fault.
and they were never gonna make it to the
Well,
finals. It was
Jason
It's impressive
Tatum
that they got there. It's impressive that they
Tatum
got
as a
there.
rookie.
It's impressive that they got there. I agree, but
Terry Rozier like point guard.
Yeah,
Tatum
that
rookie.
team wasn't going to beat LeBron.
well,
They-
they were up. So
they were up,
They
but
could
that's
have.
not Brad
They
Stevens'
could have.
fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Brad Stevens' fault. I think that
And then you have the
I
bubble.
don't know whose fault
and the
that is.
bubble is.
a weird
I don't know.
situation. It's a weird
Absolutely.
situation. So yeah, I mean, it's you're right, but I still think that it's a playoff series, still, and like even if you're playing against the best, like the fans are expecting. Well, the fans want obviously like a win, and they want to see them in the finals.
He just doesn't have enough energy. Like you could tell going into the series against the Heat, they weren't gonna win. And like when they were struggling, he didn't do anything to change. He just sat there and watched those guys just like take these contested, ugly fadeaway threes at the end of a shot clock, forcing up shots, and nothing changed. At that point, like Tatum's the guy, and he's got to shoot shots. But like something has to change there.
Yeah.
That cannot be the game plan against a team that like they were hot. The Heat were hot, and they like played. I mean, they played out of their mind for like a month at the end, and that's all they needed, and they got to the finals. Obviously, couldn't beat LeBron, but
Do you think that Brad Stevens will ever wear a tie?
No. Why doesn't he? I don't get it.
My man likes to be comfortable.
it's restricting.
Yeah.
I feel like he would, but he doesn't.
Here's
And for that reason, he's on the hot seat.
here's some pictures of him in a tie. One.
Is Tristan Thompson?
There's a lot of pictures of him in a tie.
Three, four.
Is he like?
I don't think so.
Personality-wise,
No.
no. He's so. So Marcus, I think Marcus is like the only guy who has any.
Jalen kind of showed some fire.
A little bit. It's not going to come from Brad. It has to come from a player, I guess.
You want Brad to have some fire on those days where he like gets riled up.
Might in the locker room or something behind closed doors. I don't know. Maybe not.
I can't see it. I really just think he's dry. I think Danny's on the hot seat more than
Really?
Brad is, only because like they had a trade exception a couple years ago for Kyrie. Didn't use it. When Kyrie and Gordon broke. No, it's for Gordon. When Gordon broke his leg, it carries over, but he never used. He never.
It only
used
lasts
that
a
one.
year.
Yeah. Then you have all these draft picks. Like if Pritchard and Naismith don't work out, I think that's another thing. You look at him and you're like what are you doing? Like stop picking. All these dudes. You have all these picks. I know you're probably loading up for maybe a future trade, especially with this exception. Now you'll be able to trade for like a bigger contract guy, but you got to do something that really impresses us. Thompson and Teague are cool, but when you look at this roster, can they win a championship?
Yes. I think.
You think this team's going to beat the Bucks?
I don't think
in
this
7
team
games.
will. I don't think this team will win a championship.
This team?
But I think that
You just mean the Celtics will and like.
No. I think that this team.
This season
You don't
could
have
win a championship.
faith in this team winning, but it's possible that they could. Like if everyone plays up.
I
to
disagree with your take though that Danny Ainge is on the hot seat.
100%.
I feel like if you look back, since he's been the GM, it's like I would say it's a success, and that doesn't mean that he can't be on the hot seat. But I think it's a success. And then I think in recent years, it's actually been like pretty successful, especially when you draft a player, especially the way he did it with Tatum, who ends up becoming what he became, like now a max contract player. And I feel like we've had successful seasons, and what Scott was saying, how you can't expect these teams, and it's funny because now I'm kind of going against my own point, but you can't really expect those teams to make it to the finals.
Well, that's
So-
Brad Stevens. Is like he takes a group of guys that's expectations are low and gets the best out of them.
Yeah.
But when you have a roster with Kyrie, Horford, regardless of Hayward, you have Jalen, Tatum, and they underperform to some degree, I would say, that team probably should have made it to at least one championship, maybe not one. But I feel like that's been like Brad Stevens' whole track record.
But do you
And-
think Danny Ainge?
He's had a lot of hits and misses,
Yeah.
I think Tatum, Brown, he nailed.
I think he's had.
Yeah.
Other
Horford,
than
that's all you need to
Hayward.
know.
I think that I agree that that's all you need to know, but I also agree that he's had lots of.
Well, he missed like on
misses.
Kelly.
How is Kyrie his fault though?
I don't think Kyrie's
Kyrie's not
his
really
fault
his fault, yeah, but-
because I
Or
think they
Horford.
were more fucked if they stuck with Isaiah.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, that's more. I feel like that's more on Brad than Danny.
Yeah, I think that's more on Brad. But I think like my question going back, could you where do you expect this team to go? When will we get a team where it's like where your expectations are like the finals? This
Yeah.
one you can be hopeful that this team goes to the finals, but with the pieces that we have and the opportunities that Danny's had, you need a team that like the expectation is the finals. With the Lakers, the expectation is the finals. Okay, with
Not to get off topic, but I feel like if you're a Clippers fan right now, your expectation is the finals. With the team that they have, their team doesn't seem better than the Lakers, obviously.
yeah.
But I think your expectation would still be the finals. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get there. And I think that is because of the Lakers. Or because of, they didn't even lose to the Lakers last year. But
I think their hope is the final. They expect that they should be, but that team has so much room to.
well, don't you think
underperform.
that the Celtics, like, hope and expectation is? I think that's what they kind of tried to do this offseason by trying to figure out something to contain Bam or to.
You look at Tristan and you look at Teague. But then what other piece on that bench are besides? I guess you could say if Thompson starts, you got Tice.
Then you go, yeah, exactly.
Teague.
Then you have Tice, Teague, Smart.
Yeah,
End of season.
I'm talking Smart if he like starts.
Yeah.
But
I still think that
you
the
look at this and it's like
expectation is
the bench is 7 deep, and like Matt, you always argue that realistically, come playoff time, you only need 7-8 guys because you shouldn't be playing more than 7-8 guys. You saw it; it worked out for a lot of teams, but in the regular season, I feel like you need more depth than 7-8 guys. I mean, some of these teams, an injury bug strikes them. And you have a weird starting lineup for like a week, and that can be enough to sidetrack you for a bit. And I feel like they needed another bench piece where you could be like, that'll be a cool second unit. That would be those guys would be cool off the bench. Or you need one of these other guys to step up. You need Grant Williams to hit a couple corner threes. I mean,
that'd be big.
He misses first 26 in his NBA career, and then wasn't great. Rob Will has potential to do really well if he could figure out how to play in an NBA offense that isn't pick and roll and lobs. And then Naismith, I mean, that's a huge wild card along with Peyton Pritchard. But if Naismith can knock down some threes and play a Duncan Robinson, I mean, that's a really high
bar. Yeah,
but if he could play even remotely similar to how Duncan Robinson, like a role like Duncan Robinson played for the Heat, that's huge. Then you can be like, this team has high expectations, but you have no idea because Naismith's season was cut short. You have no summer league for you to even be excited about. You'll have the preseason, but yeah, we had the preseason and Carson had a really good thing, and everyone's like, you could see him developing like a Steph, where he's just a lights out shooter. I mean, there were times where people were talking about Carson like he was
I liked him
Steph.
a lot, dude.
Yeah, heat check kind of guy.
Maybe most improved candidate.
Do we think that Jason Tatum this season will have a game with over 49.5 points?
A 50 ball out of Tatum
Christmas Day
against the
Brooklyn.
Nets.
Yeah, I don't
56.
See
I don't see why not,
why not. What's
too.
his highest right now? 30 something.
Maybe 39-41 against the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
I say
41.
I say no. I don't think he has a 50.
I say usage-wise, yes.
It'd be cool.
I feel like it would have to happen at the beginning
You
of
have
the
to
season.
be hot
Yeah.
from three, I feel like,
Yeah.
to get that many.
All right.
Thompson points and rebounds per game. So
I think he's like a 10 and 10,
is he a
basically.
10 and 10 guy?
12 and 8.
I would like to think so,
Hopefully.
but I don't think so.
He might not get the minutes.
Exactly. I feel
If
like he's probably
Tice
going to end up
isn't
getting
out.
like 22 minutes a game, which he could still get 10 and 10 in 22 minutes. He is a rebounder.
Is he more likely to get 10 points or 10 rebounds a game?
rebounds because we don't
Yeah.
really have any other rebounders, and we have lots of scorers. Marcus Smart technical fouls over
9.5.
In
That's
Yeah,
high.
72 games. Remember, 72 games.
That's high. Under.
I'm going way over.
18. He's going to be paying the league $200,000 fines.
Marcus Smart triple doubles at 0.5, and I'll take the over. I think early
It's
on.
funny. I'm going to say
Will
no.
he get one?
I'm going to say
He just
I'm
has to
gonna
get
say
one.
I'm going to say he will
Didn't
not.
he have 2 in the bubble?
I know that he
had 2 in the bubble
he
with
definitely
Kemba.
has multiple triple doubles
I
either way. I just don't. I mean, it's honestly at that point, it's just like a luck. It's like a luck kind of thing, and I'm gonna stick with my gut.
If he's
and say
starting
no.
point guard, though, opening day, I could see like first couple weeks, maybe.
Taco Fall per 100 possessions, over 33 points per game, 22 rebounds per game, 6 blocks per game, and 10 personal fouls per game.
That's
I
around.
agree
That's
with-
what.
I agree
that's
with all
around
of
what-
them.
That was last season,
Yeah.
right there. 100 possessions. You give him the ball 100
especially the
times.
fouls, especially the fouls.
Big foul guy, Taco Fall.
Let's
All right.
let's check out the Nets.
Probably the most
Our favorite.
interesting team
Huge question mark.
in the
A
Atlantic.
Kevin Durant size question mark.
Yeah.
Is he like
7 feet?
how good?
Maybe
is he?
6'11"?
7
Is
foot
he
question
Maybe
healthy?
mark.
6'11"?
Who's to say?
Who's healthy? Kyrie,
Not us.
KD.
Is
You don't
KD
know.
playing in December?
As far as I,
I
know,
believe so.
He
Holy
should.
cow.
He should.
We went a year without KD.
And it's kind
The
of
best-
just
is he the
like
best
in
player
the
in the league?
you don't know how he's gonna play right now. I think this could be a slow transition into him playing more of a Dirk role, where it's like a 4 that can shoot. I mean, a 7-footer that can shoot is ideal.
Yeah, he's lights out.
So he can go from small forward and later on in his career move down to that 4 position and just be a 3-point kind of guy with his size and shooting ability. And I think this injury can affect a lot of people. I mean, if him and Kyrie had different injuries and Kyrie was dealing with the Achilles and KD was dealing with the ACL, I think you'd be more worried about Kyrie coming off of this because he loses that explosiveness and that ability to be shifty. And KD, a lot of guys come off the ACL, but KD has the body to go and be that a big 4 and still be able to shoot. So coming off an injury, I'm less worried about KD. I'm more worried about Kyrie. I think Kyrie could still deal with knee tendonitis over the season and miss 15, 20 games just because that's Kyrie.
And people always say, they always say it, I feel like, after injury, oh, he looks like better than he did before.
Oh, God.
And then it never actually is true. Maybe Paul George. But I don't know if anyone was really saying
even
that he looked
Karis
better.
LeVert came off of a crazy injury.
Well, Karis LeVert's wasn't
back.
a season ending at that point, though.
It
So it
was
wasn't as
weird.
bad as
It
it
was
looked.
brutal.
It looked really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think this is one of the best starting 5s.
I think
if we assume Kyrie and
I think it
KD are
has to
even
be.
90% of what
I think it
they've
has
normally
to be
been.
at least a top 5, right?
Is LeVert a true small forward?
He's maybe a small forward.
He could fit.
Yeah, he will play small forward. He will, because I feel like also Joe Harris could also be seen as a small forward at times. So I feel like that's just depends on the night.
Yeah,
who they're guarding.
it's a complete team. They got shooting. They got size. I love
the
Spencer
only question mark
Dinwiddie's
is
great.
Spencer Dinwiddie, though, because Spencer Dinwiddie might not even play on that, because last season he was talking about how he might not even.
He wanted to be on a different team.
He wanted to be on a different team. Yeah,
his usage is going to go down, and he could be a really good point guard for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie's 20-7 guy.
Yeah,
this year I don't see a way you could be 20-7
No,
with this team. Yeah,
No, but I feel like he's an underrated player.
but you're saying on a
league.
different team?
Oh
He
my
could
God, yeah.
Yeah. He could be.
Jeff Green was a really good addition. I feel like he
I was gonna say that
he kills a lot of teams for no reason. Same thing with Shamit. Shamit comes on, hits a couple heat check threes,
And they still have
Clippers?
Torian Prince, DeAndre Jordan. I feel like they don't really.
Kuruks.
What
I like him.
What weakness do they have other than defense? Because I feel like that's not a very good defensive team.
no, but they'll put up probably 115 a game. I feel like.
Yeah.
This is.
I like Bruce Brown a lot. He's like a long guard
This is
that
a
can
really
defend the wing.
They should
good
definitely
shooting team.
They should definitely win in a 72-game season. I feel like they should win at least 52 games.
This could be top 3 in the East. You think?
I think that they have to be.
Yeah.
I guess it also depends on
I think they'll be number
injuries. But if they do keep Spencer Dinwiddie, then there's even with Kyrie sitting out a game, even with KD sitting out a game, and they still have Torian Prince, DeAndre Jordan, Jeff Green.
And Karis LeVert proved that he can
Then-
lead an offense
Exactly,
and
exactly.
get 25.
There's
They
going to
can
be some.
still be a playoff team.
Something too that I'll bring up with this team that I feel like is now overlooked because we always talk about Kyrie, KD coming back, but Steve Nash is now the coach of this team.
Yeah, which is
That's
weird.
right.
I don't know how he'll do. I feel like he seems to be like a player coach. He has a relationship with KD. I feel like if things go south, can Steve Nash be the guy that keeps that locker room together? Do you trust him to keep those personalities? Kyrie, KD are two of the most kind of erratic personalities in the league. Does Steve Nash
Yeah,
can he make it work?
What a science experiment of a team bringing
Yeah.
For real.
in two guys who just are social media weirdos. Katie just burner accounts and
Flat earthers.
Yeah,
Oh.
and you bring these guys in, and this could blow up so easy. And then everyone, you have Boston, Cleveland fans kind of oh, Kyrie's a weirdo. You have Boston fans oh, Kyrie's a weirdo. And then last season, you got to the point where Nets fans were like, all right, is this like really worth it? Like Kyrie's weird.
Yeah.
Like let's hope KD comes back and keeps him in check.
Shit.
Yeah, and he's just and he also like there was that point where he said that like he didn't trust a lot of the guys on the team. and you
Yeah.
know he says things, and you're
Forgot
like,
about that.
and you
Forgot about that
and the
too.
coach, and like the coach got fired. You wonder how much of that was Kyrie's doing, if any at all. But Kyrie and KD together could end up blowing up very easy in a couple of months.
And what do you think like KD's mindset is? Because he went to the Warriors to get his championships, and now he's coming back from it. Is this just like a prove-it year for him?
Well, I hope it's not like a Fred VanVleet quote kind of thing where he's just playing now
Yeah.
for the money. I don't think it is.
Nah,
I don't really
he's
think it's a
chasing
prove it
again.
year. I think he knows who he is.
Yeah, because like what
I
does
think
he have to
everyone knows who he
prove?
is
It's just
too.
kind of like
yeah. I mean, I think that he also knows that this team could easily win a championship. Like I really do.
Easily.
Like I think it's like in like
You
we
guys-
can
If
even-
everything
you can even
works,
say
if
it,
everything works.
You can even say it as easily. Like I feel nobody can guard Kevin Durant in the entire
you don't
league
think
if
but
he's
like,
healthy. No,
Lakers,
not a single
Nets
person.
in a 7-game series. If we assume no injuries turned off
I don't
in a
know.
7-game series,
I mean, it's a really tough thing
yeah.
because I mean nobody to guard Durant.
You don't think LeBron
Nope.
going like 100% on KD?
I think Nets because of their.
I mean, look what
shooting.
happened in the Cleveland
Bench.
series, and Durant just
Yeah.
went off against them. So I feel like
Or you go AD on KD?
it's weird because it's like 4 different positions. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
all against each other. Like
Like how
4
they match up.
superstars.
Right.
And like, yeah, exactly. Not like the same matchups. But now the Lakers are like really good.
They're very good.
So at the same time, the Lakers probably should easily win easily win a championship with the additions that they have.
Hmm.
I mean, they lost like Avery Bradley, they lost Dwight Howard, but I mean,
Probably got better.
they got Dennis. They lost Rondo
Mhm.
too, but they got Dennis. They got Montrez. They got
It's a very different team.
And Tyler Johnson's on the Nets. We should probably say that.
Yeah,
too.
he's really good.
Mose
at
from the
basketball.
office.
Yeah. Mose.
I think that really puts them over.
Tyler Johnson will guard LeBron.
You guys
Sure.
see KD deny the James Harden stuff today, like saying that
denied.
he was like because everyone says that him and James talked about making it happen. He's like, me and James are friends, but we didn't say shit. Like, I don't know where you guys are getting this stuff, and I mean that'd be even more of a
Oh.
disaster. Imagine that, like Kyrie and James Harden like dribbling the ball around and like fighting over who gets to dribble the ball around the entire shot clock. I mean that would blow it up. I think more than just the KD and Kyrie connection, but I think James Harden would be a disaster. I mean, it'd be a good team when they're on.
Yeah,
Obviously,
but don't you think that if Harden's like actually like wanting to go there, he would understand that before he went? And then like Kyrie and Kevin Durant, if they're like actually recruiting him, would also understand that James Harden is a guy that's going to be taking like 20 shots a game.
should be.
So I mean, I agree that like it could blow up, maybe,
It
but
just like it wouldn't work.
it wouldn't work. I
No.
agree.
So
I agree.
it'd be a mess, and I
Well,
don't think it's.
Well, I think it could actually work. I don't know if it would work. I don't know if they would all be like the players we know them as, though. They would.
No, they would take like production hit. I feel
yeah,
like, for sure.
they would have to.
Do we think Harden actually cares about his 20 shots a game, or does he just
Yes.
do that because he didn't trust anyone on the Rockets?
You
to
watch
make
that
shots?
game where he gets pulled in the third quarter with 61 points, and he looks up at the scoreboard and he realizes that he was 1 point shy of his career high, and he's like starts freaking out.
Well, that,
Like,
I think that's a little bit different, though.
he cares about his shots though.
Well, yeah,
He's-
no, he definitely cares about his shots. I mean, he but the thing is that he is like for years was the only
I
player on
think
the
that's
team.
just that was just his role.
Yeah,
I think it's
and especially with D'Antoni's
Offense.
offense. Yeah.
I
Steve
think
Nash
he
is
might
a
be
D'Antoni
happy
guy.
to
yeah.
shoot less shots, higher efficiency maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what happened to those rumors? They fell flat.
I just think right now things are dead. All the free agents are gone.
Could it
People-
happen like mid-season maybe?
That'd be a weird time for a blockbuster like
Yeah.
that. I feel like that's got to be I think a lot of teams are waiting on next free agent period, next season, because next off season is going to be insane. I mean, the names are. It's going to be a whole new NBA.
Who's the coach of the Rockets right now?
They just signed a new guy.
That guy.
Forget his name.
That guy.
It's interesting too because the last two teams that
Steven
won
Silas.
titles like got superstars in the before, where you have AD going to Lakers, Kawhi to the Raptors,
Yep.
KD to the Warriors. Like, I don't know
Look
if
what
that's a
Tristan
trend.
Thompson to the Celtics.
Exactly. So, if that means anything, Celtics looking pretty good.
What do we think about
All right.
Kyrie Irving games played over and under 54.5?
Under.
72 game season. So are you saying he
I'm gonna go with the under as well.
misses 20 games?
Yeah.
Think so too.
If he gets hurt once, it'll scare that franchise.
I actually think that I think 54 games would be like they would like be very happy with that. Karis LeVert points per game over or under 18.
They might be one of those teams similar to the Celtics last year with more than 2 20-point scorers. I could see KD,
Yeah.
Kyrie, and Karis all above 20.
I would love to say it because I actually like Karis a lot, but I think that it's not only KD and Kyrie, you know, it's like also other shooters. Joe Harris can take shots. If they keep Spencer
Wow.
Dinwiddie, he's gonna need to get his, and then
Jared Allen could get some points.
yeah.
And
so-
can he, like, play off the ball?
So
Because I feel like when in the bubble, like, he was their primary ball handler almost, and
I
was,
think
like, scoring off the dribble a lot.
I think over under 18 is a really good question because I feel like it's going to be close to that. So if I were to say under, it would be like 16 and a half, 17.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's going to get like 13 points a game.
Fair
but
enough.
yeah.
All right. Any last Nets thoughts before we move on to the dumpster fire that is the New York Knicks?
No.
That Obi Toppin will single-handedly take to new places.
Actually, interesting enough, the only like non-playoff team in the Atlantic.
Probably, yeah. And probably for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Probably more.
They did deal Ed Davis, though. Or did they get Ed Davis?
They got no.
They
Oh.
dealt Ed Davis. And then got Ed Davis.
Oh. Very
They flipped
interesting.
Ed Davis.
They have some very interesting new signings.
Just like why? You know?
Rivers, Alec Burks is.
This is Leon Rose.
Yeah.
First off season. Whether I guess they got better, but like very
Austin
minuscule.
Rivers. I'm just seeing that right now. Brutal.
I mean, I don't have to talk too much about my love for Elfrid Payton, but solid point guard. Like that, they brought him. They waived him and then brought him back. Interesting move.
Their roster definitely, to me at least, does not seem like it should be like the worst team in the league,
No,
but they will be,
probably.
and you just kind of like know it before the season even starts.
It's just names, the illusion that these we
You're
know a
probably
lot
right.
of these guys.
Yeah.
But I think RJ has a chip on his shoulder this year after not making the all rookie team. Elfrid Payton's cool. I think Alec Burks could be like a really interesting player off the bench for them. He played pretty well with the Cavs. Cavs, right?
yeah,
Cavs.
and then he played with the Sixers. He was decent.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, I mean, he
Warriors,
averaged
and he was also
12.
decent on the Warriors.
He can put up 15 a game. He's shown that.
So that'd be cool. I think you could see him.
Blossom.
Say you play Austin at the point guard, RJ, and then Alec Burks.
Mm-hmm.
I love Julius Randle too. I think he's a cool guy.
Mitchell Robinson too.
Yeah.
Hit shots. He led the league in field goal percentage. It's just like a guy. Like if you put, it's like they just have a supporting cast, but just no one to support. You know what I'm saying?
What do we think about Obi Toppin?
I don't know much about him at all.
All rookie,
All I know is that
all,
you
all
love
rookie
him.
team. Yeah, because there's ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
I think when you're like when you're that kind of like high profile pick kind of thing.
Big body.
I mean, it's funny because RJ Barrett didn't, but I feel like you pretty much almost like automatically make it if all you have to do
Yeah.
is average like 9 and 3 a game.
Yeah, it'd be
11 and
interesting.
4.
He could be rookie of the year.
He could.
Emmanuel
could be.
Quickly too is kind of a sneaky pick,
Yeah, I like him.
where he's a Kentucky guy. I mean,
Quick, he's really quick.
it's
Says it in the name.
In the name. And then I mean, he's probably gonna get an opportunity to play some decent minutes. So I feel like there's something going on here. I feel like Leon Rose might have a vision. It's just a matter of like, for whatever reason, every star's been tied to going to New York, and just no one's ever done it.
Why would you want to go there? I mean, with what's his name?
James
Yeah, Dolan.
Dolan.
I mean, that was so unattractive for
Yeah.
so long.
I mean, maybe Leon Rose, as like a former agent, can like maybe get some guys to come over. I would have liked to have seen Melo come back, because like why not? You know.
I mean, you look at how close LeBron was
to New York.
Yeah, back when he was choosing between them and the Heat.
Yeah. I feel like Julius Randle's talent is wasted on the Knicks. I feel like he'd be a great
absolutely.
guy on a championship team.
That's the thing. Like most of these guys would be great pieces on other teams.
yeah.
Money for them at that point.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Yeah, like you said it yourself. They have a great supporting cast.
No,
just
they're
no one.
It's a cool team, but I don't think they finished top 10 in the East.
I don't know what happened to Dennis Smith.
I liked him. He could fly.
He had 15 points his rookie year.
He was
A
cool,
game.
but
Yeah. He was sick. He was sick that year.
Do you shop any of these guys? Do you think you get like a first rounder with any of these people,
I think Mitchell Robinson is like interesting to see what you can get.
or do you keep him because
I
he's
mean,
young?
I think I feel like you'd keep him because
I think you keep him, but if you can,
get a lot for him.
yeah,
potentially.
why
yeah.
not? I mean,
Well, at the same time, though, like couldn't he? Isn't that like what you kind of want though? Like Mitchell Robinson, like if you're gonna get like picks or something, like that's who you want though.
Right.
Like, Mitchell Robinson like is the pick.
Yeah,
kind of
pretty
thing.
much. I mean, he's young.
I mean, I think Julius Randle, but I don't
Yeah.
know the contracts off the top of my head, but I feel like Pete, like,
it's a very unattractive contract. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think so too. But he's a good player. He is, but maybe not
Yeah,
defensively.
Randall's 3 years, $63 million, and now he's going into his second year of that.
I don't think that's that bad, to be honest. I would pay Julius Randle that. That's what Gallinari's making,
It'd be
and he's 3 years. I mean,
Look
if
at
he's
Gordon.
yeah,
it'd be a cool little thing to Celtics use their trade exception on
yeah,
if
Randall?
if Thompson isn't their guy. I mean, it'd be like a replica of Tice, but it'd be
just more athletic, more powerful,
Yeah.
stronger. Yeah, Frank.
yeah,
I don't know,
Frank,
yeah,
cigarette Frank.
RJ
knows?
Barrett points per game at 16 over under. I think I like over on that.
I like over. I think he
I think under.
Really?
significantly.
His volume
This is
shouldn't
very-
change from last year.
Significantly?
I feel like
I think-
he scored 14 last season.
Yeah,
I think
I think that
it's
the
gonna
Knicks
be a
like to kill
split
these kind of
load.
people though. I think you
As
look at
their
like
own top draft picks.
you look at Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox was like good his rookie year. Look what happened his second year.
Yeah,
You look at Alonzo Trier. Not exactly the same kind of.
Not as high hopes, but
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I mean, 16 points isn't that much to ask for.
You have to
Wouldn't
think
think so.
Julius Randle's probably going to be up around 20.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson probably somewhere like double digits, 13 maybe, 13 and 12 a game. I think he gets that 16. I think he has potential to be the highest scorer on the team.
probably will be. Maybe not.
It's tough
Probably
to-
just be him and Randall.
Yeah. And then like everyone else is just like 9.
Unless
Yeah.
Obi is actually.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. Exactly.
What does Obi score this year?
I'm not sure, but I feel like it
Thanks,
could.
Josh.
But I feel like it could be.
I think double digits.
I feel like it could.
Not sure.
I feel like it could be like a double digits, low
if-
double digits.
If
kind
he's
of thing.
knocking down his shots and he can actually shoot the 3, he could have an impressive year. High flying kind
Obi-
of guy, power dunks.
Topping off.
If he's true, like to what he said back in college, it'd be impressive to see what a full strength Obi Toppin is. Let's go to 76ers because
Brian doesn't like the 76ers.
no.
I
fucking
don't like them, but I
76ers.
think they'll be good.
They are not top. Are they top 5 in the East?
I think they'll be around 5.
I think they're 6.
I think Joel Embiid. We forget how good Embiid is.
We forget how good he is because he's always hurt.
Well, he played like 60 games last year, didn't he?
Well,
51.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
do
gonna
you
take
think
a
they
special
got? Do you think they
break
got
for a special
better?
drink?
I think they got better.
I think they got better too. I agree. I think that Al Horford was not a good fit with them. And I think that Josh Richardson also not for some reason. Maybe it was just his usage was down.
I know
That he was not even close to Miami.
No.
Miami Josh Richardson, which I thought was pretty good.
Geographically, also not that close to Miami.
Yeah, but I mean, it's closer than like where he is now. Where even is Josh Richardson now? Dallas?
Dallas.
Closer to Miami than Philly-ish.
Is that a fact? I think
I
you're
would-
right. I would think so.
No, I agree. I think, and Doc Rivers is a
That's an
upgrade to
improvement.
Brent Brown, and Daryl
That's
Morey's
fair.
probably an upgrade to Elton Brand.
Actually, Dwight Howard off
Yeah.
the bench too is good.
I like Dwight Howard. He can mentor Embiid.
I think that they needed shooting and they got it with Seth Curry and Danny Green.
Yeah,
I mean, you were talking to us yesterday, Matt, saying Danny Green became kind of like a meme, obviously, with the Lakers. The season itself, I mean,
and he can still defend.
yeah. And they still have shooters on the bench.
A lot of people think Tyrese Maxey was a steal.
Yeah, a lot of people. But then they have Mike Scott, Korkmaz, Thibault was getting a lot of minutes
Thibault
in the
could be
bubble.
cool. Terrence Ferguson is a wild card. I mean, he can jump out the gym. and-
Tony Bradley's an interesting player though, because he was pretty for the minutes he was getting. I remember that
Yeah.
he was pretty good on the Jazz.
He's like 5-5 almost.
Yeah,
And
5 and 11 minutes, which is pretty good. But
I
it's
love those
interesting
guys,
to see. Yeah, it's interesting. Will he get 11 minutes or will he get more or less? Because of now Dwight Howard.
I know.
But
they
at the
got
same time,
a
Dwight
lot of
Howard
stars.
doesn't get that many minutes in the first place. So
No, and I think Ben Simmons will show out. Whether he can shoot or not, he's still 16, 8, and 8. No one likes Ben Simmons, but
No. But
I mean, I think Ben
those
Simmons.
Are those numbers good? I know the 8 and 8 is good for a point guard.
Yeah,
And a great defender.
I think obviously when you see like those videos and like Ben Simmons is at half court and LeBron is already
Yeah.
in the paint because he knows that he's not going
Right.
to shoot. That shows that it really does affect the game.
Mhm.
Ben Simmons' inability to shoot, but at the same time, I think he's still like a good player who will be successful. And now that they have more shooters, more shooting, and more talent around, I don't really know if it's more talent, but better.
no, yeah. Seth
shooting.
Curry and Danny Green, I feel like will spread
Yeah,
the floor more.
better shooting, exactly. And I feel like that will definitely help out.
better system for Simmons to play in. You know, he'll have double digit.
It is a better.
He'll have double digit assists. But I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
And Tobias is overpaid, but I still think he's a solid piece.
I guess that
I think they're 5th or 6th in the East. I don't
Mhm.
think
That's where I would have him.
I don't really think they take a step up. If anything, it'll be interesting because, you know, with Doc as the coach, it could really help.
I have a cool fact of the day coming up.
Let's hear it.
Tobias Harris and Channing Frye are cousins.
Runs in the family.
Damn.
Wow.
Bring Channing Frye in.
Who's your cousin?
I don't have any, actually.
That's not true.
That's not true.
You don't have that cousin that's out in L.A., right?
No.
Or is that like a in-law or
It's like
something?
one of those family friends that you call it.
No. It's like my cousins, exactly.
Nice.
On the other side of their family, you know.
Basketball familial relations. Now that Doc Rivers is Seth Curry's father-in-law,
Man.
will that be mentioned in every single broadcast that the Sixers plan?
Yes. Every
Seth
single
Curry for 3.
By the away
By the
team.
way,
By the away team.
got to
By
play
the
with
away
the. He's
team,
got to play with the in-laws. Oh,
by
jeez.
every national television.
Yeah.
You go Seth Curry, the in-laws. Am I right?
I actually think Seth Curry is an awesome pickup.
He shoots lights out, bro. His numbers from 3 are
45%.
crazy.
What a
Yeah,
moron.
for like
a
his
little
career.
porker.
So I guess that's the point, right? In getting Green and Curry is Ben Simmons can drive a dish.
And who's to say Ben Simmons doesn't develop a shot? Maybe sometime.
Oh come
Yeah,
on,
not
bro.
me.
He's
Me.
had 3
Ever?
I
He's had
say
3
it.
years in the
I
league.
say it.
If Marcus Saul can develop a 3, Brooke Lopez can develop a 3, you think it's out of question that Ben Simmons will never be able to shoot?
They shoot the ball. He's
I
afraid
say
to.
it is not out of the question. And what I say goes on this podcast.
What do you mean
Fair
he
enough.
saw-
Marcus Saul did not shoot 3s for like the first decade of his career.
Probably because he wasn't allowed to. Because It was old basketball.
It's a different game, old man.
Curry, bro.
Well, I know, but I'm saying he learned how to.
He literally learned. How much better did his percentages get?
Better because he was shooting them more.
Well, he took them, yeah.
Who's to say Ben Simmons doesn't take like threes a game and figures it out? I'm just saying it's not the question.
That doesn't change much though for me. It just takes a shot away. From
Would you just
Curry or
all right?
something.
Just trade him then. Would you trade Ben Simmons?
I would trade him if I were the 76ers. I
Yeah.
think he's a great player,
who
but
wants Ben Simmons? The Knicks.
Nobody.
I think if you put Ben Simmons and put him at like a not stretch four, just a 4, and just don't make him like a ball handler. He still has a ton of value, even though
That's
he
what
can't
they-
shoot.
that's what they did. Was it in the bubble
playoffs
before
when
he got
Shake
hurt?
was the starting point guard.
But he was hurt, Ben Simmons.
Oh,
But it was still Shake. I
The-
think it was,
what the plan
it was before
was-
COVID.
wasn't the
It
plan
was right
to
before
have,
COVID.
Yeah.
Shake Milton started starting, and he had like that one like really big game, like 36
Mm-hmm.
points or something like that.
Well, yeah, and now his season high in points next season, the over-under set at 38.5.
Yeah,
I'm going to go way under. Let's set it at
Yeah, his
26
career
and a
high's
half.
I'm saying let's
39.
set it at 18.
Yeah.
Shake Milton goes off once a year for 40.
Does
All right.
Embiid play 50 games this season or no? 72 game season, does he play 50
Yes.
games?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think he should be healthy. I think he will be healthy. I don't see why not. Why he wouldn't play that.
I think this is like a prove it season for him. I think he was mad in the bubble. He gets swept. He gets embarrassed.
I think if
30 and 10.
If it's another year
He's soft.
like this, he's gone. Or they're trading.
I think
trading one of the pieces.
I think you either blow it up after this season if this doesn't work, or you really make a big switch. Get Simmons out.
Yeah.
Bring in a guard
Yeah,
that will
bring
work better
in-
with Embiid. I
yeah.
mean, you're
Embiid needs to stop taking threes.
I mean,
too.
I just want to touch on again, really quickly, that you said Tobias Harris is overpaid, and like I think we went by that a little too quickly. I know that I just
That he's
kinda
not
interrupted-
overpaid?
No, he is so overpaid.
He's very overpaid. Is he max?
I think he's
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's max. And like he was like
he had that
he's
one
not
really good season though on the Clippers.
yeah, but then that was the only reason that he got
Yeah.
paid, and he was on the Clippers with no one. The second best player was Gallinari,
Yeah.
Lou Williams, I
And
guess. If
Boban.
you're gonna Bobby.
Bobby and Toby.
Yo,
I know, but would you rather Tobias or like
cutest
Hayward?
couple in the league, Bobby and Toby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's actually a tough question. That's a real. I mean, I don't think either of them deserve the money. So
Because they're like 30 mil.
yeah, I don't think either of them deserve that. But
Tobias doesn't have the injury history.
that's true. That's true. I think that Tobias has definitely been better recently too. But still, that kind of money. I mean, I know that NBA players are getting that kind of money nowadays for
Yeah.
not being
That great.
that great. But I feel like that's still
Nicholas Batum money. Almost.
yeah.
And that's tough. Any last thoughts on the Sixers?
I fucking
Yeah.
hate the Sixers.
Yeah.
The Celtics beat them all the time, though. Like, you don't have a reason to necessarily.
It's tough. I mean, it's like Embiid said, it's not a rivalry, but you kind of want it to be a rivalry. You
I
kind
know
of
they haven't hit back yet.
They were good where like you could have this team where you hate because they actually are good, but we're hating this team that really sucks and like, gives us a problem every other game.
Well, wait a minute. It wasn't Harden. Didn't he have rumors of going to Sixers too?
Yeah, because the
Daryl Morey.
Rockets GM went to Philly, so he's trying to bring Harden with him because he loves Harden.
Maybe Harden and Embiid can win a championship.
I think that could work out better than Simmons, but what do you do? Put Simmons
they
in
have
Houston?
to trade Simmons though to get Harden. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to.
Yeah.
All right, right now we're going to take a little break and step away from the mics. This episode of Baller Scholars is brought to you.
Our neighbors to the north, Toronto.
I think that the Raptors will be the number 1 seed in the East.
In the fucking
I think that Aaron Baines really
golf
puts them over
tournament
the top.
after the playoffs.
Serious?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't think.
You're the
I
king of
actually
hot
think that they'll probably, unless they have a similar season to last year, which I feel that they can.
Fall out of playoff
I feel that
contention
they will
almost.
be in
What
like
if
a
they?
6th
What if
seed.
they don't make the playoffs, sir?
Then you blow it up.
You
No, I'm
think
joking. You don't blow it up.
they lost Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka? I think this team does about the same.
I think that this is actually might be a hot take. I don't know, but I think that Aaron Baines is similar, if not maybe even a little bit better than Marc Gasol
Definitely Marc Gasol.
right now in their career.
Definitely better than Marc Gasol.
So at
Not
that,
better than Ibaka.
Not better than Ibaka.
With
But
that-
he's like in between them.
with that said, I think that they might have a similar season, but the competition in the East is just way
It's gotten better.
The Heat got better. The Celtics stayed around the same. The Sixers,
I think it's just the
we think the
Nets.
Sixers got better. The Nets are back. The Bucks are tough, but I think that the Bucks got better personally.
But I don't think it's enough where like the Raptors don't compete like they did. I think only the Nets is like a big that could like jump them and move them back like a spot. But I feel like everyone else will perform around the same.
I feel like
The
they could. They like the Celtics could end up above the Raptors. The Sixers potentially could end up if with everyone healthy could end up above the Raptors.
They were what, 2?
People
Yeah.
forget that they were
Maybe
the
3?
fucking 2 seed. They were
Maybe 2.
3 games.
Yeah.
They were 2.5 games.
They're a good
away
regular
from the
season
top
team.
seed in the league.
Because Pascal was terrible in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Great regular season.
I think he does not have as good of a season next season.
Is this one of those situations where they only play like 8?
Well, Nick
players in
Nick
the
Nurse
regular
plays his
season?
starters like 40 minutes a game,
I think that,
and they win. Like
I personally think that he has a similar season.
probably,
Because I think that a lot of NBA,
even though their bench is
a lot
pretty
of
good.
a lot of this NBA statistically comes down to this usage, and I feel like he'll have the same, if not more.
Kyle Lowry is a year older. Excuse me. That banana bread beer
Yeah.
is really
A
good.
year older. Serge
He's
Ibaka.
34.
Serge Ibaka. I mean, he's not like the most usage. He wasn't even starting for most of the season. But I think that still does when you replace him with who? Aaron Baines and
Probably Chris.
More minutes for Boucher.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely lose some usage right there.
Sure, nice goal.
And that has to be spread out somewhere.
I think they were riding high off a championship year 2 last year.
That also,
I think
and they
that
had they felt like they had a lot to prove
Yeah.
without
Without
Kawhi.
I think that falls flat this year. I think they go maybe they're 4, 5, 6, just like right with the Sixers.
And
this year.
that's the thing though. In the past years, recent years at least, the 6th seed in the East is like you're almost like bad.
Yeah,
7 and 8, you are bad.
yeah, you're like under 500.
Yeah, but I think that this season will be
yeah,
different.
probably be around 500.
I feel like it will be the 7 and 8 seed. I think they will be around, probably above 500.
Wow, the Hawks might go from 14th in the East to playoffs this year.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I can
that's
see
off
it.
Topic, but let's keep talking about
And
Raptors.
so I think that the Raptors being the 6th seed, it's not saying that they got worse necessarily. It's
Their
just saying that
other
the
one
East
got
got
better.
better.
That's
Yeah.
a great point. That's a great point.
I still think they're like 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 2.
I could see it.
I mean, I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
Sharpen your pitchforks.
I can.
Yeah. Okay, they might be 2 again, but they're still.
I'm not saying they're
going
gonna
to
win a title. I think they'll be a good. They're just a great regular season team because Nick Nurse plays like the hell out of his
Yeah,
starters.
he knows what
They
to do.
still have a solid bench.
I think, and this could be a very cold take in the future, I think that they actually have almost zero chance of winning a championship this season.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think they have a good
Yeah.
4 or 5 matchup in the playoffs with the Sixers.
Like what, second round?
No,
That's all.
Yeah,
first,
First
round.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, first round. You think
Yeah.
first round?
Goes 6
And-
and
Sixers,
7.
Sixers,
Sixers win.
Raptors 4-5.
And then, yeah.
That's it.
I think the Pacers probably in that mix too, like 6, 7, 8.
I wasn't even thinking about the Pacers. That's a
And
good point.
Heat.
Yeah.
I will stand the Pacers.
See, it's actually the East.
It's
is
gonna be
actually
competitive.
Very, yeah,
But
both
there's-
conferences are very competitive now.
It's
I'm
becoming
not
more
saying.
split.
I don't think even.
No.
I still don't think
but
that they're
equally
even.
competitive.
Equally competitive, yeah.
I like Malachi Flynn too, as a late first rounder. 17, 4, and 5 in college.
Yeah, he's
In that system, I feel like
What-
will work a lot.
From where?
Like San Diego State, I want to
Yeah.
say.
Alex Len,
Yeah.
also a good pickup.
Alex Len's like
Oh,
a solid
yeah,
big man. I
Alex-
just
yeah.
feel like it's like the same gritty guys. Like they know who they are. It wins games. They're gonna defend.
Yeah.
I think Pascal. I think he'll probably have a similar year,
I think he finishes under 22 points per game.
And what did he have last year? 25.
like 20, 22,
I
22.9.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Norman Powell. We talked about him
22
yesterday.
Points. That's not that crazy to me.
21, maybe 20.
Yeah,
Love the
I
movie
think
Spies.
that just based on usage, he'll end up with 22 around the same. I really
Yeah.
do think so. But
Norman Powell, spies in disguise villain.
And he's actually the villain and the protagonist simultaneously.
Oh,
Also,
Is he an
while-
anti-hero?
kind of like Despicable Me. Where
Well, no,
like
I'm
Gru's
saying
like the
he's
villain.
both characters.
Oh,
wow.
Because he's
He's
a spy in disguise.
Facts. Has anyone actually seen the movie to know?
I will
Who Will
regrettably
Smith's
admit that
characters?
I've seen that movie. And there are two separate people.
Are they
but
twins?
Norman Powell looks like a
Clones?
combination of both.
and
No.
Oh, two
did
separate
you do
people
you enjoy the
completely.
movie? Did you enjoy the movie?
Yeah, you did.
I fell asleep for like 10 minutes,
Oof.
but I enjoyed it.
Everything else
Yeah.
was good.
Norman Powell. He's a Storm and Norman is at the top of my guest
Well,
list.
that brings
if
us
this
to the
podcast is ever
question:
big.
over under Norman Powell, 16.5 points. Will he have
Had
17?
16 last season.
Will he have 17 this year? Will he go up 1
I
point?
think he does.
Really?
I don't know.
He's good, bro.
I think he's good.
No.
Ooh, Brian says no.
He was so annoying in the Celtics series that
Yeah.
it's like Norman Powell like layup in transition again,
now
hits an open three.
Here's a interesting question.
Please.
Do you think Fred VanVleet getting paid brings his confidence up more, which causes him to shoot more, bringing Norman Powell's usage a
Maybe.
little bit down?
I don't
just
know
a-
if
just
it's
a
like
smidge,
a
just a
zero-sum game.
I think Fred VanVleet's contract might be one of those ones where you're like, yeah, I mean, he was good when he got paid, but
Yeah.
Doesn't continue.
I just think like he's having like a really
Weird mindset for him right now, where he's
Well,
so
Norman
weird that
Powell
he
had a
re-signed after
breakout
saying
year.
They're
Get
an
me
interesting they're an interesting team though, where it's like, are they possibly just thinking that they won the championship a few years ago, that they
Just
don't
ride it
they-
out.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
just
what
like
are
they
they
don't
Right,
have-
I don't
for
know
the
what their
next 5
future
Exactly.
is.
I don't think that they really have a great future. I think that they have like a obviously playoff every year kind of thing.
When do
but
they
finals? I don't think so.
No, they got the chip. Unless,
when does Kyle Lowry retire?
not with the
years.
Raptors.
but again, you put Kawhi, a star on this team, like that puts him in the title conversation.
But will they ever actually attract a free agent, or will it always like a free agent?
I don't know.
star,
It would
or
have
will
to probably be a similar situation. I feel like where you trade for a star, which isn't out of the question. I mean,
There's also some Canadians that could possibly want to end up playing there.
yeah, Canadians.
Wig dog.
Cat.
We haven't
Wiggins.
mentioned yet.
But no, Cat's not.
They're
It's
not
not
the
Canadian?
Toronto Raptors anymore. They're the Tampa Bay Raptors.
Let's go. Welcome to Tampa
How will that
Bay.
affect them?
No home
Tom
fans,
Brady
even if
is
there
gonna
is an
kiss
allowance.
Every single player
You're gonna have.
on the mouth.
We also haven't
Before the
talked
game.
about.
Oh, no.
Lucas said it today that COVID is the biggest threat to like teams in the NBA season. Not like a special team,
Yeah.
but it's what you have to look at it as what teams can stay healthy. Because say KD or Kyrie test positive, they're gone for 10 days in a shortened season. You miss them for maybe 3-4 games.
Yeah.
Or on a
Well, is
busier
it gonna?
week.
Is that the
It's 10-day
actual?
quarantine? I'm pretty sure.
But is it gonna be like the NFL where it's like
Not really.
like Matt Stafford had it apparently, and then
Everyone's
like
a
a day
false
later
positive.
he was back.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think
The NBA is
M-
definitely the
against-
best run
yeah.
sports organization or like association.
Was
so,
there any positive tests in the bubble? No.
No, it'll be different. It's gonna be tough with
Yeah, with like when they're
with
traveling.
different arenas and
Yeah.
traveling. Yeah.
But with the Raptors in Tampa Bay, that could affect the Raptors too. I mean, you're in Florida,
That's true. Different regulations. I could see like Atlanta.
Why are they in Tampa Bay?
can't travel between Canada. Canada's like, now we're not letting.
So they are but they're still gonna be called the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, just
A temporary thing.
Kind
was-
of like the Tampa Bay Raptors.
it's like, yeah.
That's kind of gross.
Bring a basketball team.
Dude, there
to
are no
Tampa Bay.
Raptors in Tampa Bay. All right,
That's a good point.
they're all in Toronto. Huge dinosaur town, Toronto. Find them every day.
Big Toronto year 2 Drake like takes over. They're gonna have a Drake jersey.
As head coach,
They're gonna have a Drake jersey, a Drake practice facility.
you know Nick Nurse and Drake be a great assistant coach coach tandem. Yeah. All right. We'll see. I'll put myself down. Raptors between 2 and 4.
Oh God.
It's on the record. I don't know
I
why I
don't
found
want
myself.
that to happen.
Why did I
don't
defend the Raptors and the Sixers so hard?
I don't.
Just because you guys are so anti,
don't-
I feel like I had to play devil's
Yeah,
advocate.
no, I don't hate. I don't hate the opinion.
Matt, sign off.
Thank you for listening.
For viewers like you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, everyone in their friend group says we should start a podcast.
Let's
And
go play
we
some
did it.
Exactly.
Wii golf.
How many actually do it?
But how many actually go play Wii golf after they do that?
Guess that guy.
Never has been done before.
He's
In
handsome.
history.
No podcast follow button. Probably not.
Probably not. We're the first.
We're the first people to do that the entire.
Josh, I went -1 yesterday, so you better watch out.
Josh was so bad.
Good night.
You just listened to another episode of the Baller Scholar podcast.